This is my home lab, my 5 petabyte Chia farm, and my workshop. Hi, my name is Petar, and you're watching Tech Jumbo. This room that I am currently in is the last room in the house. It's far away from any other living space. The room above is a storage and utilities room, and it's rarely used, so the sound coming from the rack and the ventilation system doesn't really impact day to day activities. This was a perfect spot for my workshop and home lab. The room was not built specifically for chia farming, but it was built with chia farming in mind. Room is connected to the rest of the house using these two SFTP Cat 7A shielded solid core wire cables. These cables connect to the main rack switch, which is MikroTik CRS 32624S 2Q plus RM via two SFP plus 2 RJ45 modules. There is another switch in the rack, a low-powered MikroTik CRS 326 24G 2S plus RM, which I mainly use for management interfaces and as a failover if faster connections stop working for whatever reason. The two switches are linked using two 50 cm long SFP Plus DAC cables, and the two links are then aggregated using 802.3AD protocol. Power in this room was done from scratch when I renovated it. There is a single 5 solid core copper wire cable coming into this room. Each wire in the cable is 4 mm squared. This cable provides a clean, conditioned 3-phase 230-volt power coming from the semi-industrial 20 kilowatt automatic power conditioner located in the attic. Breaker box in the room has a breaker for each outlet, socket, and for each power phase. This was done to make it easy to troubleshoot, fix, or expand the circuit if there was a need for it in the future. The rack is powered by 3-phase HP PDU. Model number is on the screen. Cooling and ventilation is handled by this single turbo-style fan unit. Blade diameter is 25 centimeters and it can extract 1250 cubic meters of air every hour, which is about one whole room full of air every minute. The fan is temperature controlled and it turns on at 26 degrees Celsius and it turns off at 24 degrees Celsius. Full blast, this fan uses about 180 watts of power and it's controlled by this thermometer and controller up here that's probably used for some sort of cooling box or whatever. It's an overkill for this setup, but that's the only thing I could find at the time. Okay, and now for the start of the show, the rack. This rack is 42U, 1 meter deep, 80 centimeters wide, with load capacity of 800 kilograms. It's a bog standard, rebranded generic rack, and there is really nothing interesting about it. In the rack, starting from the top, we have 6 NetApp DS4246s. Then we have a Dell T630, and then we have 3 NetApp DS4486s. There are in total of 286 disks in the rack. It's a mix of 12, 14, and 18 terabyte drives. Most of these are white label drives, 12s and 14s. The 18 terabyte ones are all new Exos X18 drives. This Dell T630 here is the main workhorse in my recent reporting efforts. It housed 4 A4000s and now it houses 4 2080 Ti's. It has 1 terabyte of 24 MHz RAM and 2 E5 2698 V4s. It also has 8 SAS12 write-intensive Toshiba SSDs. This can do 10 writes a day for 5 years. Currently, they are all at 85% or more life left. It also has two Samsung 870 EVOs in there, as well as 14 15K 300 gigabyte spinning Rust drives for good measure. I'm currently playing with this, some remote gaming, some AI, and testing out vGPUs. More on that soon. T630 is linked to these two QNAP JBODs that have toolless caddies and they're really easy to handle. I use them when I'm providing plotting services to other people. Alright, so this machine sitting outside the rack actually runs the farm itself. Sadly, I had no more room in the rack for it. I wish I had, but you know, we might get another rack here soon. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. It's based on Supermicro H12 board and the second generation EPIC 7F52. It has 256 gigs of 3200 megahertz memory, NVIDIA A5000, 4 Optane P4800Xs, which are connected using this IC dock enclosure, and a bifurcated X16 PCI Express card. It has two Samsung 3.2 terabyte SM1725s, and I don't use it just for farming. This also hosts my Plex, my surveillance system, file server, access point for the workshop, Nextcloud, and some of the game servers that I used to run. I still run them occasionally, but not as often. Everything is running on Proxmox, and the single GPU I have in there is split among all the services that I'm running. It has been running like this for a very, very long time with no issues of any kind. All VMs are backed up twice a day, and backups are retained using a custom schedule. The effective farm size using Mad Max plots is 4.82 petabytes, which is around 50,000 plots. I will probably need a second GPU once the filter is halved sometime next year. So that would be it for this video. In the next one, we will be diving deeper into the software stack that I use for this setup, as well as monitoring and maintenance. I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments. Leave any questions that you might have. Thanks.